It's Daybreak. Now let's take a look at what's making the headlines on the papers from around the world this morning. This day, the front page is focusing on the latest outcome from the South-South governors meeting. It leads with South-South governors resolved to join VAT collection suit. Urge federal government to constitute NDDC board by law, demand forensic audit report be made public, set to commission regional security outfits, Southeast governors leaders to meet over rising insecurity. Obi situation is disheartening. Gunmen enforcing stay-at-home order set tricycle ablaze in Enugu, Southeast Nigeria. Above the nameplate for this date this morning, fiscal federalism. Lagos demands 1% in revenue allocation formula. Governor Sanwo-Olu's reiterated demand for special status for the state. He says prosperity of Lagos has multiplier effect on the southwest region of Nigeria. And finally, let's take one more. President Buhari presents 2022 budget Thursday, lays it at FEC tomorrow. That's the Federal Executive Council meeting.
From that, we go on to the Nation newspaper. And right there is a picture of some African leaders. But the headline right below that picture is zoning ripples widening in PDP. That's the opposition party over party chair. Right at the top, we've got special status. Lagos seeks 1% consolidated revenue fund allocation. Networking businesses disrupted for hours by Facebook WhatsApp outage. Billions of dollars lost worldwide. More now from the Nation. President Buhari calls for peaceful Ethiopia. And finally, South-South states join rivers in VAT battle.
Now still on Nigerian dailies, the Daily Sun has two major headlines here. Finally, UK blacklists Nigeria's COVID-19 vaccine certificates, recognizes over 50 countries. And just beside the nameplates of the Daily Sun, sits at home shooting in Imo State, hoodlums on the rampage in Aba, miscreants chase away pupils from school, force shop owners to close.
Meanwhile, the Punch says tension is rising in southeast region of Nigeria as military begins operation against killings. Others, the riders there, military police show of force creates confusion in Imo, offices, markets, others shot. Army launches exercise Golden Dawn in Anambra against IPOB, cultists, others. And finally, Southeast governors, other leaders meet in Enugu today to revive Ebube Agu, which is the regional security outfit for that area. The Punch lead photo addresses flooding in Thailand after a tropical storm. Very troubling picture for the Punch front page this morning. Many headlines. You can pick the Punch for details.
A quick look at the international papers. I've got the Independent, and in front is the picture of protesters, climate protesters, stopping the free flow of traffic. And Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, is outlining tougher powers to deal with these change activists who are blocking major roads. The broken network, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram crash. That's according to the Independent. And finally, from the Independent, frustration at U.S. failure to reveal reopening date. Government wants President Biden to give date when borders will open to the UK.
And the I newspaper is leading today with more news on the police in England. Police vetting not fit for the 21st century, says the minister. Police forces only began checking officers' social media earlier this year and this is revealed by Kit Malthouse.
For press review, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello now. Emmanuel, good morning. Great to see you again. This day, if you have a copy of this day, the boldest headline this morning is the outcome of the meeting of the South-South governors. Looks like the battle line has been drawn when it comes to the VAT. First, it was Rivers State. Then we had Lagos wanting to join the suit. Now we have the South-South, which is 17 states. Are we likely to see the entire 17 states join? Because we're told Governor Ben Ayade was not at that meeting. Again, he was missing from that meeting. But do you think that a battle line has been drawn?
Well, look, pretty much so, and clearly the VAT thing, it's it's not just about VAT now anymore. It's about the whole conversation about fiscal federalism. This day carrying that story top there on the page, talking about the fact that Lagos is actually also asking for more. It's all this movement about people trying to control resources and saying that there has been an imbalance in the federation, in the polity, over who controls what, who gains what, again, who is producing more of what everyone is getting. So this is just part of it, and I think the South-South governors, it's almost predictable that they were going to join this, because it's like the battle line drawn across the regions. One region believing so strongly that, look, we've been taking care of a region that is not doing much in its IGR. It's time that is looking. It's an opportunity, like we keep saying, for other people to look inwards and begin to look at how they can make better their IGR, and practically, as an answer to what looks like a taunting or a mocking of saying that, look, we control resources and so we should have more of it. Lagos calling for a special status, among other calls for better sharing of the, of the federal, of what is found in the federal purse.
At some point, something will have to give. Let's move on now to the Nation newspaper. We still find that a couple of headlines similar to what we have in this day. Special status, Lagos seeks 1% consolidated revenue fund allocation. But the headline we want to focus on is zoning ripples widening in PDP over party chair. What's going on in the opposition party?
A lot is going on, and again, this is predictable. We had said that, look, the fact that they boldly have come out this early to zone a major aspect of the party to the south was going to cause ripples in the north. Already the Atiku, Saraki, and other northern elements group there are beginning to think that, look, in 48 hours, the party is going to sit, and a lot of people are saying that that meeting is going to be a meeting that will make or mar the party for a very long time. And in fact, some people say it could break the party, the meeting they are going to have in 48 hours, the DEC meeting. So these are the issues that we predicted, we know were going to happen if you are going to zone the chairmanship to the north and the presidency to the south. What happens to people's ambition and all of that. So those are the kind of thing, and the PDP is coming together in 48 hours to grapple. I think it's a keen thing that we should all be watching to see how they resolve their crisis.
By shifting away from politics, the Daily Sun is leading with this developing story that has been causing so much confusion. Finally, UK blacklists Nigeria's COVID-19 vaccine certificates. Emmanuel, what's your thought on this?
It's a really disturbing story, and it recognizes 50 states and countries, and Nigeria is not just there; it's blacklisting. That tells you a lot about the way probably we have prosecuted the vaccine thing, and of course our reaction generally as a country to the COVID-19 crisis. I think it's a serious indictment. And I just imagine that in the next few days, the authorities will be concerned about this blacklisting, and to see what can be done to, I don't know, maybe remedy the situation or get us a better, a better standing. But this is a damning report on. It's not a good report on the general way we've actually prosecuted vaccination and the crisis of the COVID-19 itself. I think it's very disturbing, especially now that a lot of people are still talking about COVID-19 and the crisis surrounding it. So I guess the story we should spend more time in looking at, and I think the Sun newspaper leading with it, alongside other stories, especially the sit-at-home story and the crisis in the southeast and all of that. Those are very great stories for the Sun newspaper.
Well, especially because it contradicts what the Nigerian health authorities have said about the UK government recognizing the COVID shield being used in Nigeria. We expect to hear more clarification later today when we'd likely have a briefing from the health authorities in the country, Emmanuel. But talking about that sit-at-home order in the Southeast and the situation there, which is a very important story, as you said, the Punch decided to lead with that. It says tension is rising and military begins operation against killings. We are having new military operations in the region. What's your take? Is this going to douse the situation there? Is it going to help in any way, or does it make it worse?
Well, I think every Tuesday now we should be expecting some kind of report on what is happening in the Southeast, because the sit-at-homes are largely on a Monday, on a business day Monday, and then you have sit-at-home. So by Tuesday, we should be seeing the newspaper telling us what is happening again. And every Tuesday now, we get all sort of, disturbing stories. Children being chased out of school, shops being closed, shots in the air, fire, people running. Some of us call personal friends down there and they tell us the situation is always dire and all of that. Yesterday in Owerri, it's the same situation. So the governors are right to be worried, and I think they're coming together. There are people who have said that this is actually becoming counterproductive. What started maybe as a way of showing some form of protest is now beginning to practically become a Frankenstein monster that is threatening to consume the very people that have set it up, the killing of Dr. Akunyili, all sorts of things. And so the Southeast is actually, there are people, we used to talk about the Wild Wild West. I think we can talk about the Wild Wild East now. And so the governors are worried. It has implications for so many things. This is a commercial hub, and when you have all this kind of disturbing story, the governors are right to be worried, to say, look, it's time to look inwards and see what we can do about it. A fiery columnist who is one of our editors in the past, in this day, wrote about it, and it's very, you need to read that piece. And he talked about the fact that this is becoming, Simon Kolawole, that's becoming counterproductive. And in fact, he used a Nigerian parlance, they are doing themselves. And he was looking at a situation where what you thought was actually against some people is beginning to backfire, is beginning to have some kind of terrible effects on your people. So the governors are looking into that and trying to meet and to also raise up maybe issues of security around the issue. But I think there seems to be a consensus now, even by the very, our friends who hold strong position on the whole self-determination issue. We are beginning to ask and question what is going on. Has this been hijacked? Is there an internal problem that we need to deal with? Is the Southeast not shooting itself in the foot with this? People, very reasonable people, are beginning to ask these questions. And I think the governors are probably also going to ask this question while thinking of alternative means of protecting their people with a security outfit that they want to fund or they want to revive and set up. So it's a good story, and as they meet at Enugu, we need to also watch that to see what resolution. Is it too late now? Can they really stop people from doing what they want to do? Are we going to have a return of peaceful days in places like Owerri that used to be the hospitality headquarters of the country?
Very well, Emmanuel. While we wait for some answers to all these questions which you've posed, we're very grateful for your take this morning, Emmanuel Bello. Well, that's the press review on Daybreak.